So Trump's not even president yet, and already the markets are responding and the speculation is flying. Uncertainty is the only certainty right now. Did I say that right? Anyways, you know what I mean. Heck, just spend a day on the interwebs and you'll see the full gamut of articles. You should honestly do it, it's kind of fun. You'll come away feeling manic and schizophrenic. There's a housing crash in 2017. No, 2017 is going to be the best year ever. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are dying. No, they're not. They're going to be privatized. Ben Carson's head of HUD. Whoops, no, he's not. Good Lord, who can keep up? I can, that too, but that's not important. But what is important is this little interview with the new Treasury Secretary nominee. Well, only if interesting if you're care about real estate, work in real estate. So yeah, I guess pretty much all you guys. Anyways, check this little doozy out. The new Treasury Secretary was on CNBC talking about one of real estate and lending's greatest pain points in 2016. Almost brought the entire industry to her knees, in fact. Of course, we are talking about Dodd-Frank and TRID. Let's see what the new Treasury Secretary plans are.
And I think one of the good things about both Wilbur and I, we have actually been bankers. So we were the only two people during the financial crisis that were issued licenses. We've been in the business of regional banking and we understand what it is to make loans.
First, let me interrupt. I love that this guy's in the actual industry that he is tasked to govern. People have no idea how broken Washington really is. Let me oversimplify for a second. Washington basically does this when it comes to writing and coming up with new laws, rules, and regulations. You're a person, you appear to be alive. Granted, you're in college and you've never owned a home nor taken out a mortgage. That's cool. We're gonna need you to write all the new rules and regulations for the biggest industry in America. You think you can do that? No? Good? All right, get right on that. I sensationalize a bit, but you get what I'm saying. So yes, I like the fact that this guy's at least in the industry that he is governing. Not a bad start. Let's continue.
So as we look at Dodd-Frank, the number one problem with Dodd-Frank is it's way too complicated and it cuts back lending. So we want to strip back parts of Dodd-Frank that prevent banks from lending. And that'll be the number one priority on the regulatory side.
That's for damn sure, and several big banks and lenders just said amen.
Yeah, and many of the smaller banks have had to get to the point where they now have more compliance people than they have lending officers.
That part is actually very true, and the costs get passed on to the consumer. Number one priority is really interesting. Now remember, realtors and lenders, all these changes that slowed us down, that caused delays, made mortgages more costly, came from Dodd-Frank and TRID. So this is a big deal. And to be fair, some of the Dodd-Frank changes were good and sorely needed. Others again though had made no sense whatsoever, and they gave little direction on how we should interpret them. And when banks and lenders accidentally broke the rules, the new sheriff in town, the CFPB, made them pay. We're not gonna tell you how to follow the rules, but we'll surely punish you when you break them. I'm not sure why the CFPB has an old-timey Western accent, but whatever. Here's the deal. Dodd-Frank and the CFPB aren't going anywhere. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. What is more likely is some of the nonsense rules and regulations get repealed and replaced, and I hope they do it right this time. Don't go changing anything without consulting the people that actually work in the industry. Consult NAR, and MBA, and the NMBA, and the banks and the credit unions. Listen to what they have to say before you do anything. We will tell you what's good and what needs to say and what is nonsense and needs to go. Don't assume that you know what's best for real estate and lending. The previous administration made that same mistake already. Now let me get the conversation started, Mr. Treasury Secretary. One of the Dodd-Frank TRID rules says a consumer now needs to wait an additional 3 days to finalize their home purchase. Now, that's just silly. The consumer just waited 20, 30, 40 days and survived the entire underwriting and appraisal process. The last thing they need is more time to think about their purchase. For God's sake, let them move in and close already. They had more than enough time to think about it. Trust me. Now, can someone give me an amen and second this down below in the chat log and suggest something else that needs to be repealed and replaced? I'm only good for one suggestion and then I'm out. I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of good news. I'm hopeful they'll get it right this time, but let's be honest. It's not likely. See you guys next week.